My opponent has 3 mixed martial arts matches. He lost his first 2, and then he won his third. He won his third against a guy named Eric Tiny McClure. Tiny McClure is the guy that I beat my first ever grappling match within 30 seconds. He beat McClure by basically getting in his way, and McClure lost his balance and fell. And then my opponent Johnson sat on top of him and locked his arm up. It took him 20 seconds to lock the arm up. So basically, the only person he's ever beaten in mixed martial arts is a guy that I've beaten without even trying.
There you go. Okay, Mark, and anything you want to say to your opponent before we wrap up this interview, before you go into the cage with him, or?
No, he's not going to have a good day.
All right. Those are the words. All right, this is Mark Shipley here, getting ready for his big fight later on this afternoon. We should have thought about this a while ago, but we just now thought about it. So, how you feeling about the fight, Mark?
I'm feeling good. I'm confident.
Okay, cool. And what kind of training have you been doing to prepare yourself for this fight?
A lot of cardio, a lot of stand-up work. My jiu-jitsu is pretty tight, so we focused on just mostly me moving around, striking, punching, and trying to cause as much bodily damage to him while standing as I can.
So you're going to try to keep the fight standing up? You don't want to take it to the mat?
Yeah, this guy, he has a history of taking guys to the ground. In fact, the only times he's ever won anything is when he's on the ground. Anytime that anyone stands up with him, he basically gets his ass kicked.
Okay, cool. So now have you been training with similar-sized opponents in preparation for this? You're a pretty big guy, so at 6'7".
The only guys that are around my size are guys that are way better than me. So basically, the guys who I've been working with are the guys that go out and they're professional fighters, and who are like the one guy's he's 2-time Golden Gloves boxer. One guy he was actually invited onto the Ultimate Fighter show. So the guys who I've been working with are some of the best guys around.
So training with the better components, or better opponents rather, you think that's stepped up your A game? I mean, kind of you have to.
Well, you get used to seeing it's pretty much like baseball versus softball. You're used to seeing that fastball coming at you, and everything else you see slow. So I get to see punches thrown out of my head from some of the best guys out there. So once I see the guys who are really good, and I can go, this guy is totally different.
Gotcha. That's good to hear. So now, in addition to that, your cardio and all that stuff, have you changed your diet up a whole lot for this fight, or?
Pretty much, I got rid of as much fat and grease as I could out of my diet, and just stuck with protein and carbohydrates as much as I could. Anything which wouldn't weigh me down and which wouldn't sap me of energy. That way I could get the energy in my body and keep going, and also cut out the fat so that when I'm in the cage with the guy, I can be moving around and be mobile while he's panting after me.
Okay, good. Now, you were telling me earlier that this guy, he's going to try to take you to the ground. I mean, what kind of training have you been doing to keep that from happening with this guy? I mean, you gonna try to keep him at a distance, or? I'm
gonna try and use my reach advantage as much as I can, and just backpedal. I've been working a lot on moving in and circling out, so that even if he does run after me and try to crash down on me, he's basically going to be going into empty air and trying to be running after me. And the more he tries to take me down, the more I'm gonna be running, the more he's going to get tired. And the more tired he is, the better it's going to be for me. Because later in the fight, when he's tired and his hands are dropping down and he's sucking long, then I start going for big head kicks and try to knock him out.
Okay. Now you kind of planned out this fight. I mean, are you trying to end it early, or are you going to go for the big stuff first, or are you going to just use your cardio advantage to an advantage and try to wear him out? Is that the plan, or?
I mean, the bigger plan is simply to make him afraid of me. From what I hear about this guy, is he's a grappler. He does not like getting hit. Getting kicked in the leg, getting punched in the face, these are things which he doesn't really like to do, so he wants to attempt to grapple, where he can be basically lay on top of me and use his weight, and then do a nice little calm, easy, fun grappling match. So I'm going to kick him in his leg, I'm going to hurt him as much as I can, break his nose, turn his face into as much blood as I can, and make him lose hard. If I can get him to just say, listen, we're done, which he has done before in other fights, then good for me.
Gotcha. Now, you were saying he's got a wrestling background. You think, does he, I mean, how are you getting ready for if the fight does go to the round? keeping him from putting you in submits?
The big difference between me and most of the big guys is that I'm not limited by my size, where my size doesn't wear me down. When I'm on the ground, I basically move like a little guy, where I'm always mobile, always doing something, and always changing things up. The big guys love to get on the ground and just lay there, and they tend to get real lazy, and they tend to sit there and just kind of suck along for a while, and then when they feel better, they go for submission. Wait, go for submission. Me, I'm always bridging up, always trying to move. So even if we do go to the ground, even if he does land on top of me, he basically has his hands full with me. He has to be still running after me the whole time. So even if I'm on the ground on the bottom from any position, I can submit. So every time that if he does go on the bottom, or he does get on top of me, I just start going for submissions, trying to work position, and he has to counter all that. I'm not going to give him any rest.
Gotcha. Now, this guy does outweigh you by a decent amount, right?
About 20 pounds.
About 20 pounds. You view that as an advantage that he has over you, or no?
The only thing I'm worried about is getting caught with a haymaker. He's got a real heavy, I'm saying heavy hands, but he can put a lot of weight behind a punch. And so if I get cocky and let him get close, or let my chin come up, or my hands go down, then he may get me with a good right hand or a good left hand and hurt me for that.
Now, with this being this is probably going to be your biggest fight to date, right? I mean,
this is my first mixed martial arts fight.
Okay, because before it was grappling bouts that you did, and I know you did really well. You got a great record, all-winning record right now. Do you think that is that played into your head at all? The fact that this is going to be an actual MMA fight, or?
The only difference is for me is that now I get to hit. I can use kind of the full repertoire of stuff. I don't have to be kind and try to go for submission and set things up. In the fight, if I'm punching, I'm trying to hurt him. If I get a submission on him, I'm trying to break his arm off or take his head off. The way I think about it right now is if I get him in submission, it's his responsibility to stop me. He taps or I break something.
Gotcha. Now, do you feel better that the fact that you are going to be able to do more striking moves? I know you're going to be using a lot of your Kempo background, but with the training that you have over the Tallahassee Mixed Martial Art Gym, I mean, are you using more boxing style? Are you incorporating that more in there, or are you sticking with the Kempo type strikes?
Basically been combining everything together so that instead of me being a classic boxer or kickboxer and Kempo guy, I'm putting it together which match my body the best.
Okay.
So the way I use my hands, it's sort of like Kempo. I use my hands to scratch my legs, and I use my legs for entrances with my hands, which is very Kempo. But the motion and the strategy of moving in, moving out, the head movement, all that comes more from kickboxing.
Okay.
So basically I'm putting things together more, and I'm not really having any one particular style as my dogma.
Yeah, I know you actually introduced some of that stuff when you did your second-degree black belt test. When you actually made that presentation, which is pretty impressive that you're able to incorporate, and you're just kind of using one, and when there's an advantage, you use it to the advantage. When there's something that is a disadvantage, you kind of ignore that part, or you turn it into something that can be always a striking move as opposed to just a defensive move.
Right.
So. Well, that's great, Mark. Well, we all wish you luck. We know you're going to do good. You do anything right before the fight? I know you got your celebratory cookie dough that you're eating afterwards.
Yeah, I get that when I get back to Tallahassee.
Okay, cool. Well, anything you're doing to get your mind right before going in there, or just?
Really just trying to not think about it and be calm when I enter the cage. Just remain as calm and aloof as possible, and then just do the thing. I'm trained as well as I'm going to be trained. I'm in the best shape that I'm going to be in, and so just kind of let my subconscious and my training take over.
All right, great.